Hello there everybody. Today we're looking at grade 9 algebra. We are here with the grade 9 class of Noordepal High School and we are going to do some basic revision of grade 8 algebra that we are currently looking at so that we can just have an understanding of what algebra in grade 8 entails before we move on to the later work of grade 9. So we're going to quickly look at these questions and run through the answers, making sure all of the learners have their answers written in their books next to the page where they pasted the page. Okay, so how many terms, looking at the first question, it states how many terms are there in each of the following expressions. So in the first one we had, remember a term gets separated by a plus or a minus sign, but there is also a bracket, and the power of bracket, the bracket has the power to group terms together again. Alright, so at the first one we see there's a plus and a minus sign, sorry, only a plus sign, so that means we have there at the first one two terms. And if you didn't get that, you should write it in there for yourself. At the second one we have, this is the first term, this is the second term, and this is grouped together as a third term. I do apologize for that quickly. And then this is the third term, and that will be the fourth term. So we have 4 terms that we have there at number B. Looking at number C, now that is actually a lot of variables that we see there, okay, but it's all grouped together, and also even here is a plus sign, but that plus sign is within a bracket, so that's only one term. Yes, there's no separator, the separator is here, the plus, but the plus is within a group, is within a bracket, and a bracket has the power to group together again. So there's actually just one term. Now looking at the next one, we have there, that one is 2 terms. Looking at the next one, we have also there at number E, 2 terms. At number F, there's one separator, the plus between all of those terms, so that's going to be 2 terms. Then at number G, we have there also 2 terms. At number H, we also have there 2 terms. Moving on now to question number 2, they ask us, consider the expression two x to the power of 3 minus 4x squared plus 3x minus 8. What is the coefficient of x squared? The coefficient of x to the power of 2 is negative 4 there. Okay, write down the constant term. The constant term at this one is negative 8. Now they ask you, what is the exponent of x in the first term? Well, the exponent, the first term there, it is in descending powers, so the exponent is 3. Looking at question number 3, they ask us now, consider the expression negative 3x to the power of 3 plus 4x squared minus 5a squared x plus 6a to the power of 3 plus 7. They ask us, what is the coefficient of x to the power of 3? The coefficient at that one looks to be negative 3. Moving on now to the next one, they ask us, how many terms are there in this expression? If we count the terms, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. So that means there are 5 terms. What is the exponent of a in the second term? So a actually has an invisible exponent of 1. It's a to the power of 1. Then they ask you to write down the constant term. Now, a constant term is a term that doesn't consist of any variables, right? So that means the constant term right there is plus 7, or you could just write down the number 7 there for yourself. Write algebraic expressions for the following. 3 times a number. Do we know what that number is? No. So that means this number, we're going to use the variable x. That number is x, and what is happening to that x? We are going to multiply that x by 3. So that is actually simplified 3x. But what has happened afterwards? We're going to add a 2, so that's 3x plus 2. Moving on now, they ask us twice the product of two numbers, and then it is increased by 3. So the product of two numbers, so let's say the two numbers is x and y, and that needs to be twice. So it's double the amount of x and y, so we can multiply them with 2. So that's 2xy, and then we increase it by 3, so that's going to be plus 3. Then afterwards they ask us the product of two numbers decreased by 3. Now decrease means I am subtracting. So that's going to be, once again, the two products is going to be x and y, and then I'm going to subtract 3. Now they ask us the square number. The square of a number decreased by 3 times the cube root of the same number. So the square, let's use x. X is going to be squared, no? And then what is going to happen? Decreased by. So we're going to subtract something, and then we are going to multiply that by 3. But what are we multiplying by 3? The cube root of the same number, and the number there is x. So that means x squared minus 3 times 3 minus 3 times cube root of x. Let's just see if the square number of a number decreased by 3 times the cube root of the same number. Yes, that's right. Now they ask us the sum of 10 and a number. So the sum of 10, sum means what again? What does sum mean? Plus or addition. So let's say 10 plus x. The sum of 10 and a number divided by twice the number. So this whole thing is going to be divided by 2 times x. So I hope you guys are copying in that questions there for yourself. Now they ask us to simplify. Alright, a nice thing that you can do for yourself here by simplification, we can only add and subtract like terms. So that means when we are talking about like terms, the variables needs to be the same, and also the power of the variables also needs to be exactly the same. So what I always do for myself when I'm adding and subtracting like terms, I go first and identify what are the like terms. So there I highlight or underline those two are the same. Then I'm going to highlight in a different color perhaps, or I can make another pattern, the x terms. So there we have those two going together, and there's another one, the negative 7. No? So I'm going to say first starting with the green, and then there's one term left there that we have plus 7. That's a constant term. It doesn't go with anything. It stands alone in this particular expression. So we're going to say 13 minus 15 is negative 2x to the power of 2. Remember, when we're doing addition and subtraction of like terms, the coefficients and the variables doesn't change. Sorry, the coefficients change, but the variables and the powers of the variables stays the same. Now we're going to say, we are by the blue now, it's negative 3 plus 5. What is negative 3 plus 5? Great stuff. It is negative 2. No, sorry, negative 3x plus 5x is equals to positive 2. And then we're going to subtract a negative 7 from that. So that's going to be negative 5x. And then what is the remaining term there? Plus 7. And there we go. That's your final answer supposed to be. If you did it a little bit longer, nothing wrong with that. No, there's nothing wrong. I'm going on to the next one. First, I need to identify the like terms. Now, if you don't have a color pencil or a highlighter, you can do it on the following way. I'm going to use my pencil quickly. So I'm going to first identify all of the terms that are the same. 2a squared is the same as a squared. Is there another one there? No. Then I have here negative 3ab, and it goes with negative ba. Now check out for that one. Do you see there's a difference in those two are actually the same? Those two, and then all I have left is this b squared term. He also goes with plus 7b squared. Alright, what I'm going to do is now take the like terms. Now you can write it out for yourself if you want to. I don't normally write it out. Alright, for time's sake I'm not going to write it out, so I'm just going to say 2a squared goes with this one. What is the coefficient there? 1. So that is going to be 3a squared. 3a squared. Then the next term is going to be negative 3ab minus ba. What is the coefficient here? The coefficient here is 1. So it's negative 3 minus 1, which equals to negative 4ab. Then what is left? We have a b squared term. What is the coefficient of the b squared term? If there's no coefficient, I should know the coefficient is 1. And this coefficient there, 7. 1, it's positive 1 plus 7. So my answer is plus 8b squared. Moving on now to number C. Negative 6y squared minus 5y minus 1. First step that I would do for myself, I would go and identify the like terms. What is the like terms here? I have negative 6y goes with negative y squared. Alright, and then this negative 5y goes with negative y. And then we have two constant terms there, which is this one, negative 1 plus 5. Good. Let's go do the simplification there. Of this simplification is going to be negative 6y squared minus y squared. That's equals to negative 7y squared. Everyone good with that? Now we're moving on. Negative 5y minus y. Negative 6y. Then negative 1 plus 5 equals to positive 4. Then moving on now at question number D. First thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to identify the like terms. So the like terms here will most probably be 7p squared, 4p squared. Is there another one? No. Alright, now I go to another color, negative 3pq and 6pq. Alright, those look like only those two by that one. Then I go negative 3q and 5q. 5q squared, both of them, the q's is squared there. Now I'm going to write down my answer. I'm first going to subtract the green from each other, looking for like terms. So doing addition. So that's going to be 7p squared. What is 7p squared plus 4p squared? 11p squared Then I'm going to do the red now. Underlined in red, we have there negative 3pq plus 6. So that gives me to positive 3pq. Then the black, underlined in black, is negative 3q squared plus 5 is positive 2q squared. Now going on to the next one here. First thing that I do is I try to identify my like terms. There I have a negative 4u squared t, and then positive 4u squared t. Then I'm going to have here this one going with this one. So that's a positive 3t squared u plus a 6ut squared, and then the two constants goes the same, negative 8 and positive 6. We're first going to add up the green. It's a positive 4. Sorry, a negative 4 plus a positive 4. So in essence, my coefficient there becomes 0. And anything times with 0 is equals to 0. So that one actually cancels out. We have a positive term and a negative term. The coefficients are the same, so those cancel out. Going on to the circled terms now, we have there plus 3t squared plus 6. So that equals to 9t squared u. And then minus 8 plus 6. I think the answer there is going to be plus, no, not plus, negative 2. Negative 2. Right. Let's move on now to the next question. If you don't have all the questions, please go back and pause the video, go back, rewind, and so make sure you catch up with that. Good learners, I'm going to allow you, give you some more time now. If you haven't already, pause the video and see if you can answer these questions. And then I'm going to give you a few more minutes as the class to also do this now, because I know I can see everyone didn't do their homework. So please complete this. If you're done with this, I will come to you and check your answers. All right. After, in a minute or two, we can look at the answers together.